Hi, I'm Monika Kristofferson with Efficient Organization, and I am excited today because I will be speaking about time management, focus management, productivity, things that are near and dear to my heart. So I am a professional organizer and productivity consultant, and I'm excited to share with you today. So let me pull up a little screen share here. All right, we're going to be talking about eating frogs and crushing tomatoes. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to be looking at time management versus focus management, and we're going to be looking at that in regards to eating frogs and crushing tomatoes. When it comes to time management, I want you to think about tools. Time management equals tools to manage your time. So time and tools, T and T. What can we use to manage our time? Well, we can use timers. We use clocks, right? We look to see what time it is, how much time has passed. We use calendars, so we look to see what day it is. We may write things down on our calendar so we can track our time and schedule. We often use reminders. I see a lot of sticky notes when I'm working with clients, so those little things that we jot down so we jog our memory and remember things and don't have things just floating around in our heads. To-do lists are another tool. I love a good to-do list. Now, I could go on and on today about to-do lists versus critical tasks, but I want to keep this video relatively short and just give you a few tips that you can take away today. But I do love a to-do list. Schedules, those are very important, whether you are still carrying around a day timer, a calendar, pen and paper is totally fine if that's what you're naturally comfortable working with and if it's working for you. A lot of people, of course, are using digital schedules. Just use whatever you're comfortable with and what you can use consistently. Apps, those can be great tools. There are a lot of amazing apps out there to track time and timers and take notes. So we have a lot at our fingertips with apps. So we've talked about some time management tools. I want to talk about focus. So you use those tools to help you focus. So what are some things we're thinking about when we are referring to focus? Well, we need to be able to deal with interruptions. That takes us away from having focus and working on something with single-minded focus. Dealing with distractions. There are a lot of distractions. I could make a big list of what might be distracting us. Texts, emails, the list goes on and on. And just, of course, being able to work with focus. So how do we do that? Because that can be very challenging when we are dealing with distractions and we are dealing with interruptions. And finally, I wanted to say, know what your goals are. Now, typically, I would put goals way at the beginning of all of these, but today I wanted to put it at the end because I wanted to say, if you don't know what your goals are, all the other things, all the tools aren't going to matter. You have to know what your goals are so you know how you want to spend your time. You also have to be able to say no sometimes to protect your time. So if you don't know what your goals are and other people come up to you and they start asking for your time, your energy, it's very easy just to say yes because you don't know what's important to you. You don't know what your actual goals are, and then you can be pulled in a lot of different directions. When you're solid about your goals, it will help you know how you want to spend your time, how you want to spend your energy, and where you need to say yes and where you need to say no. So sit down and really get serious about knowing your goals, writing them down. Okay, here's the frogs and some tomatoes. Time management and focus management, they go hand in hand. So you've got your tools, and then you need to be able to focus. So when you're looking at productivity, those two go hand in hand. We're going to talk a little bit about how to eat frogs and how to crush tomatoes. So when it comes to the frogs, focus management. So F for frogs, F for focus. Eating frogs is about focus management, and crushing tomatoes is about time management techniques. And there's a T and T again, tomatoes and time management. Let's look at those. there's that frog. I love the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, so I would highly recommend you take a little bit of time and read it. It's short, it's easy to read. When we're looking at frogs, we're talking about focus. So your frog is your most important task of the day. And it should be the big frog, the big ugly frog, and you eat it. So you eat that frog. Your frog is probably going to have a very positive impact on your day, on your business. So that task is going to be a high value task. It's probably going to be close to your revenue line. And we're going to look at the revenue line in just a minute. And ironically, it's probably something that's going to be very beneficial for you in business and the one that you tend to procrastinate on. For example, maybe bringing in income is actually something you procrastinate on. So the contacting clients for payment, sending out invoices, maybe making calls, but it will help your revenue line. So we don't want to procrastinate on things that will help us with our revenue line. We don't want to get in the way of our own money. So here's the revenue line. Tasks that are high value could be things that help you generate revenue. So that could be sending out those invoices. It could be something that you're creating as a product or you're delivering as a service. So a product could be that you just wrote a book that you're going to sell. A service could be whatever it is that you do. So maybe you're a trainer or a coach. It could be something that helps save your company money. So something that you're looking into maybe to cut some costs or maybe swap out some services that are less expensive than what you're already paying for. So ways that you can save your company money. I want you to think about what your frogs are in your business. What are the things that you procrastinate on, but they really are high value in your business? They will help you feel like you've really accomplished something by the end of the day. Maybe jot a few of those down. Here's that frog again. So things to think about when it comes to our frogs. Eat your frog first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way. Eat the big, ugly toad first thing and work your way through the day to the tadpoles. Now, not everybody is a morning person, so if you're not, have your cup of coffee, knock a couple little things out of the way, but don't let those things distract you. Know that at a certain time, you're going to get busy and you're going to start eating frogs, your high value activities. I want you to work for 96 minutes if you can, and I'm going to come back to that. And when you're eating your frog, this is when you limit distractions and you limit interruptions. 96 minutes is 20% of an 8-hour workday. So work very focused. Eat that frog, close the door, don't look at your phone. 96 minutes. If you can't do a whole 96 minutes, do an hour. Whatever you do, when you're working very focused, without interruptions, you're going to see your productivity increase. Here's the tomato. We're going to look at some time management techniques. So tomato, time management. This is a great free website, eggtimer.com. Whenever I'm procrastinating, whenever I'm dragging my feet on something that I don't want to do, setting a timer is just magical. So I set the timer. You can just type in the amount of minutes that you want to work on something. That helps me start to feel competitive, like I want to get this done before the timer goes off. It also helps me know that this isn't going to go on and on all day long. It's going to go on for 30 minutes, however long I set the timer for. The time timer, I've talked about this before. That's a great visual timer. So for people who want to see the countdown of time, that can be a very beneficial little timer. And that was the little sound of it going off. I'll put the link in the description. So if you're looking for a time timer, you can find that in the description. And as we wrap it up, the Pomodoro technique. This is a technique that can be very handy and helpful for people who can't work for 96 minutes at a time. Maybe you just cannot dedicate 96 minutes uninterrupted, all in one shot. Maybe you are somebody who needs to get up and move around more, and 96 minutes feels like an eternity. So this is another option. You work for 25 minutes. You take a 3 to 5 minute break. You get up, you stretch, you take a few breaths, you go get a cup of coffee, and you don't let that extend for a long period of time. 3 to 5 minutes, and you're back to work. You can do this for about 4 cycles, and then you take a longer 15, 30-minute break. Maybe that's when you go have some lunch, have a snack. So this is another great option for people. And the good news is the egg timer actually has a Pomodoro timer all built in. So if you want to try that technique, on the egg timer website, it's a 25-minute, 5-minute break. So not the 3 to 5, it's just 5. So that totally works. And I encourage you to give that a try if 96 minutes just feels like too much. That wraps it up. I hope that gives you some ideas, some tools. Again, I'm a professional organizer and productivity consultant in the Seattle area. I also offer virtual organizing services, and I hope this was helpful today. Have a great day.